Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? Just going to go live here on my Instagram as well. Tonight, I want to share this information with Instagram as well. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Thursday live show. Every Thursday, I go live in my Facebook group, in my Facebook community. And tonight, I have decided to also go live on Instagram because I find this information very valuable for a lot of you guys. So I'm going to be reaching out to IG as well tonight. But usually, what I do is I go live with topics top of mind in my private Facebook group, the Holistic of Solutions. So if you would like to come join us, feel free to join us anytime. I would love to have you. Let me just pull up my comments here so that I see who is coming on and who is joining us. And whoever is joining, whoever's coming on, give me a hi, give me a wave in the comments, give me anything. Say hi, say, just give me some engagement. I would really like to engage with you and make this something very interactive and so that you learn and I can give all of my energy. When there's energy coming my way, I can give energy just as much. That is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you so much. It's nice to see you on here tonight. Okay, so if there's any questions, any comments, hey Ali, how's it going? If there's any questions, any comments, leave them in the chat on the Facebook group. Put them in the comment section on IG. Just let me know. I try to answer it as I go along. The session is not going to take very long. It's going to be like 15, 20 minutes. Okay. So before I get started, would just quickly introduce myself. My name is Cordula, and I'm not sure if you have been following me for a long time or inside my Facebook group. Maybe there are some new members in there. So my name is Cordula Marshall. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. I'm currently studying also under a functional nutritionist in Toronto, and so I will be certified as a functional nutritionist at one point as well. So what I do in my practice is I support ambitious women with an autoimmune disease. Oh, sorry. I just noticed that I am actually lost my connection. Okay, I'm live again. Sorry about that, guys. It just totally threw me off for a second. So what I do is I support ambitious women with an autoimmune disease to help them heal their gut. Number one, heal their gut. To help them get rid of their food sensitivities. To help them get rid of their fatigue, and by implementing tools and strategies with nutrition and holistic lifestyle approaches so that they can, through implementing and taking action, go from surviving with autoimmune to thriving with autoimmune. Hey, Vanessa. I think, yeah, you're back. I know I lost connection for a second. So that's what I do in my practice. And today we're going to be talking about root causes. So, very, very interesting topic. The other day I posted a poll in my Facebook group actually, and I asked, what are you struggling most with on your health journey? Is it then the knowledge around food and nutrition? Anyways, I posted a lot of questions, and hands down, the highest number of hands up that I got was finding the root cause. And it's really interesting because it helped me put myself back into my old shoes that I was wearing, and that's a lot of your guys are in right now, where I was obsessed. I was literally obsessed with finding the root causes that caused it all, that kicked my immune system into overdrive in order to then be able to heal myself, right? So um, that was my main reason. I really wanted to. I was under the impression that once I know my root cause, I know exactly what I have to do to implement And then I can just heal everything and I can then go back to normal. So, of course, it didn't happen that way. And I realized much later on that finding the root cause is important, but it's not something we have to obsess over, or it's not something that it's critical. However, I want to make two distinctions here. So, and that might be really really interesting for you to look at that way, because what are root causes? What is the root cause? What root causes are you looking for in your autoimmune? Are you looking for, number one, the original root causes? And there's a difference. Are you looking for the original root causes? Original root causes, I'm talking about the root causes that you believe caused your autoimmune. The root causes that you believe, um, you know, put everything in place to put your autoimmune disease into action, and your body started to, started to break down. Or number two, and are you looking for your current root causes? And so let me explain that a little bit more into detail. Original root causes, those ones are honestly good to know. They are, they're opening a window into your body, and they're kind of like opening, um, making you realize and aware of what has been going on in your life for a very long time, that puts the pieces together for you to understand where all of these symptoms are coming from. The current root causes are the present root cause, the current root causes of your present symptoms. So the symptoms that you are experiencing right now because of your autoimmune, the root causes for those symptoms are super critical to find out, to understand, and to address. So I'm going to explain it a little bit more. The original root causes is where I see a lot of people get hung up on, because they believe that, and I'm going to list them out. What are original root causes? What can they be? There's many. There's, for example, leaky gut, right? Leaky gut is a root cause. Another one, antibiotics, excessive antibiotics use. Number three, stress or trauma. Another one is food poisoning. Number one, food poisoning. Another big one is viruses. So we're talking about Epstein-Barr, we're talking about H. pylori, etc. The next one is parasites. Then we're talking about toxins. We're talking about mold exposure. We're talking about chemicals, heavy metals, all of that stuff. All of those are root causes. All of those can be root causes, original root causes, that can really start to degrade your health to such an extent and to such a point where your body starts to get really out of balance. But what is the issue with finding out those root causes? The issue is that you cannot reverse them. You can't go back in time, and you can't, let's say, for me, for example, as a child, I had a lot of ear infections. Like every year, I had at least three, 4, 5 ear infections, and I was put on antibiotics. I can't go back to my childhood years and reverse that. It happened, right? Same thing with stress and trauma. There was a lot of stress in my life, and I know that for a lot of you guys, there's a lot of stress in your lives, and there might be a really big stress trigger that can put your body over the edge if there's other things in place as well. You can't go back in time. You can't reverse that stress, that trauma that you experienced. Another one is toxins, right? Maybe you have been exposed to, maybe you have lived in a house that was really moldy, and then it really started to aggravate your immune system. And you can't go back and fix the house up, 30 years ago. But what I'm saying here is that, or the food poisoning. But what I'm saying is that if you take the time, if you sit down, and if you realize that an autoimmune disease, number one, doesn't happen overnight, it happens through multiple triggers in over a long period of time, and multiple root causes that come together and create a really big imbalance on all different levels. And if you take the time and write this down and really create a health history, it can make you realize, it can really bring awareness of what went wrong at any given time, which can be really illuminating, and it can be really eye-opening, and it can help you to get out of the overwhelm of, oh my God, where's this coming from? I don't even know why I'm all of a sudden have been diagnosed with an autoimmune disease. Like, I thought I was healthy all the time. I didn't eat too badly. I exercised, all these things. So when we're looking at the root of the original root causes, it can really help us bring some clarity to where it's all originating from. However, the thing is, and I'm telling you that now, for me personally, there's a lot of factors that came together for me to create the autoimmune in my body. But do I know for certain what came first and how they piece themselves together over time? And no, it's just impossible to do. You can't do it because it's a slow process, and it happens over time, and you just don't know because you can't go back and run tests on at what specific time in your life certain things started to go downhill in your body. But what you can do, and that leads me to going into the current present root causes, which is actually super important and critical to understand, to know, and to address in order to reverse symptoms, which will alleviate some of the inflammation, which will then create balance and health in your body. Those kind of root causes are very important to find out and to address. So, what I'm talking about here is, for example, all of these original root causes, all of this, what they have in common, what they do in your body is they create inflammation, they create imbalances, they create nutrient deficiencies. Nutrient deficiencies create malabsorption. Malabsorption creates more inflammation. See where I'm going with this? So you are starting to show and create symptoms, right? The symptoms come first, and then the diagnosis comes later. But the symptoms you have had for a very long time. So I'm talking about, for example, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Another one is histamine intolerances, very common. Histamine intolerances in autoimmune. Another one is acid reflux. Acid reflux, lots of GI issues, bloating, constipation, you name it. Then a huge one is fatigue, low energy, muscle pain, joint pain, muscle and joint pain. What else? Let me know if you have any other current symptoms. Put them in the comments. Let me know what you're experiencing at this point. Oftentimes there's estrogen imbalances, as well as menstrual issues, right? Very painful periods, sometimes no periods, and high antibodies. So those are all symptoms and flags. And it's quite a list, right? And it goes on and on and on. And all of these symptoms are not going directly back to the original root cause. Not all of these symptoms, I can't take all of these symptoms and say, oh, you know what? I had a lot of stress in my life. That is my root cause. I'm just going to reduce the stress, and then all of these symptoms will go away. Stress is part of it, but it's not everything. It's not going to bring your entire body back into balance, right? And so just leaky, let's say leaky gut, because leaky gut is a big one. So leaky gut is a big original root cause, and it is always involved in autoimmune. It's always involved in autoimmune. And though we can relate back a lot of these symptoms to leaky gut and start working on leaky gut, right? It's not everything. So we need to address other areas as well at the same time. But my point is that all of these symptoms we have to look at in detail. And we have to look at, okay, what is the root cause of my SIBO? In order to do that, we need to understand what is SIBO, how did SIBO came to be, how does it work in the body, like how do those bacteria actually overgrow in my small intestine, understanding, and then taking impactful action in order to reverse that symptom by knowing the root cause. If you don't know how you can reverse your SIBO or how you can address your SIBO, then you will never get rid of it, right? You need to know the root cause of your SIBO. Is it slow digestion? Is it dysbiosis? Is it low stomach acid? Whatever it is for you, you need to find out the root cause. It's very important. Or let's say another one is fatigue, right? So fatigue is a huge one. I personally, it was one of my worst symptom that I experienced. So fatigue was critical. And so then how do you do that? No, okay, so with fatigue is there's so many factors at play, but one of them, for example, is your adrenal health, right? You need to understand that there's always cortisol involved, right? There's always cortisol involved. So understand that and then know how can I reverse my imbalanced cortisol, right? There's multiple ways and it's different for everybody because everybody, shows differently in terms of why cortisol is high. But knowing that you need to address cortisol either through stress management or blood sugar balancing or whatever it is in your case, you need to know the root cause of the fatigue for you. And you have to then start to peel back those layers and you have to work on those specific systems in your body to bring balance back into your body on all those levels. And then and that is why I say it is super important to know the root causes of your symptoms. You need to understand your body. You have to have an understanding of how nutrition, stress management, supplementation, lifestyle changes can help you address all of these imbalances in your body on their individual level and as a whole. And once you start creating this balance on those different levels, digestion, detoxification, adrenal health, all of these things that are involved and out of balance, then you will see that your body will go back to a healthy, balanced state. And I just want to finish that off with, and once you achieve that level of health in your body, it doesn't really matter what your original root cause was, right? Because that original root cause still exists in the past. But what you're doing now is you're focusing on the symptoms and you're focusing on the root cause of those symptoms that you're trying to reverse and that you're trying to help your body to bring back your body back into balance. So um, really don't get too hung up on those original root causes. Understand your body that way that I just described, and yeah, and then start peeling back those layers. So I have a question. What if you feel like you have all of those things? How can you narrow it down? Yeah, that is a really good question. So, are you talking about the symptoms, the symptom root causes that the root causes of the symptoms that I was talking about? Or are you talking about all of those root causes that have to be in place to trigger or put you into autoimmune? So, how can you narrow it down? Yeah, that's a really good question. It takes time and practice, and it takes understanding of your body symptoms. And hands down, I can tell you it's always very, very helpful to work with a practitioner who understands the body, right? And who understands how the different areas are all linking together and how they need to be supported at different levels. It's very, very difficult to do it all on your own. Um, I tried to do it all on my own. I couldn't do it. So it was just too overwhelming because also you are in a state of you have so much on your plate already. And if you're just starting to do your own research and if you're starting to do random implementing by different pieces of advice that you get from the internet or from even reading books, which is there's nothing wrong with it, but just if you are in a situation where you need to regain your health and then putting that extra load on you and trying to figure things out for yourself, it's going to be a very long journey for you. So it's always good to work with a practitioner to really assess which areas um, are presenting for you, and then you can really hone in on those elements, right? With nutrition and with supplementation, and maybe some testing, and then you can pull this information together, and then you can start a really good, solid protocol. I hope that makes sense, you guys. I just want to come on and really clarify that you don't have to get too hung up on the original root causes. They will not go away except, if, but even so, let's say you had a parasite, like so many of us had a parasite or food poisoning, right? And if you're still having a parasite, you know what? There's a lot of people who've had parasites and they didn't develop autoimmune. So it's just not the parasite that you need to get rid of in order to reverse your autoimmune, right? So original root causes, great to know, really good to know to bring awareness to everything. But knowing the root causes of your current symptoms and how to address them is going to be critical for you to move forward in your health. I hope this was helpful for you guys and have a wonderful evening. I will see you again very soon.